that was Stacey and I in our recent Europe trip. And we have been there before and done work there before. But when we were going to do some touristy things one day, it just was raining like crazy. And there's this amazing reality that in the daunting, really hard rain, it's not like we could say, oh, man, it's raining. We're out at Montmartre. We're looking at all the artists and the tourists scatter because the rain is so hard. And so, it's our touristy day. We're wandering around the Sacré-Cœur Cathedral and the artsy center around Paris. And it's rained out. I mean, it's raining like crazy. But we bought an umbrella, and both of us trying to stay under our umbrella, and we kept trying to take pictures of everything, and we couldn't get the umbrella out of the way. I would either put it in front of her face, or it'd be covering part of my face. We'd have a big shadow on it. So the joke was, that we can't take a good picture on this touristy day in Paris because of the umbrella and the rain. It just kind of became funny. And so we're walking around trying to take pictures in the rain with our umbrella of all of these sites. And it was just funny. What are we really missing of real life because the circumstances are less than we would like them to be? Joy is really not something we find. In fact, I wrote this down. We actually had a lot of fun in the rain, missing out on some of the tourist attractions. Everybody scattering from there. We saw a few pieces of art, and we thought, that'd be great to have. I wonder how much it is. Where's the artist? Because it just was coming down, and people sort of scattered, and we're out there in the rain with our umbrella trying to take photos of all of us in front of all of the touristy things. And it was a mess. We were laughing. We'd go into a store. Of course, we have to have our masks on. So we'd be putting down the umbrella and putting on the masks and trying to get in the store before we're completely drenched. And it was crazy. It was hilarious. But it was because we didn't need to make the circumstances joyful. Does that make sense? You can have joy in your experience if you don't have to make your circumstances the source of the joy. Let me say that again. That is just for you guys. I've never said that before. Let me see if I can say it twice or something similar. You don't have to find joy in your circumstances if the circumstances aren't the source of the joy. You actually get to walk in fullness of joy if and only if the circumstances aren't the source of it for you. So I kind of am circling that idea a little bit because I get to walk in joy consistently to the degree that my pain or lack of pain, my circumstances going as planned or not going as planned, the rainy weather, the photos that you're dreaming of being able to take that are covered with an umbrella, or some of them have a shadow. I'm taking a photo and there's a shadow from the umbrella right now. You know what? None of those things make the trip. Getting to be there in Christ with my bride, doing something we never get to do, is enough. It's enough. We often feel like joy is sort of like that heirloom. Stacey and I were celebrating our anniversary this week, but we have a tradition we almost never do. It's this great tradition we almost never make happen. We like to watch our wedding video on our anniversary. And for a while, we were really good at that. But then we moved a couple of times over the years, over the decades. And, I know that we've got it. It's packed away somewhere. It's under some other stuff. It's in a box under other things behind another box in a room that we can't really get into in the attic in some far off space. And so we kind of know where it is. We absolutely know that we've got it, but we never quite get to it. And I think, and the reality is on our anniversary or around our anniversary, We want to watch it. We think about it, but we have packed our schedule, right? We're going to try to go to dinner here, and we're meeting with friends here, and we're going to do this there. And so our schedule around our anniversaries, I mean, we're still working, we're still doing stuff. So we've got to find time to find the video and unpack everything and get everything else out of the way so that we can get to the video so that we can keep that tradition. The reality is we're having fun and we have things planned and we're both very busy and have a lot of work, and we just don't always get to it. We used to get to it very consistently. We like to say that's still our sort of tradition to watch our wedding video, but we've not watched it in a few years because we can't get to it easily. And I think we think that's what joy is like. So our anniversary was the day before yesterday. We actually celebrated last night, went to dinner, and I think that's what we think joy is like. Like, I've got to get my circumstances to be more peaceful so that I can walk in more freedom. And then in that freedom, I can find joy. Or maybe you flip those around. I've got to get free from these circumstances that are causing me such grief so that I can experience peace. And then in the midst of the peace, I can experience joy. It's almost like joy is some secondary benefit of the Christian life. It's not primary, it's secondary. If I can get out of the chaos of my circumstances so that I can be free to do what I want to be doing in the circumstances, then what I'm doing can give me joy. And I'm here to tell you, you have as much joy as you have Jesus. Jesus is the joy. Joy is Christ. He is it. You aren't looking for joy like it's tucked away in a box in the back of the attic. You don't have to find the joy. You bring the joy. You don't have to find the joy. You bring the joy. And part of the problem is we have really good excuses for not being joyous, and we don't want to give up often our really good excuses. We're validated in being angry. We're validated in being hurt. We're validated. We have good reasons for all of these other negative emotions. So if I embrace the joy, then I'm making it okay that someone was mean to me. If I embrace the joy that I have in Christ, then I'm making the circumstances not very daunting. If I'm okay being joyous, then it's like I'm okay being in pain today. And that's just not the case. Jesus is the joy, and he's the joy in circumstances that aren't joyful. You're not invalidating what you're dealing with because you're walking in the joy of Christ. And my hope is that if we put our finger on our excuses for not being joyous, then we can walk in joy without undermining sort of the validation of what we're struggling with.